Hello, McLeod County 4-Hers. This is Darcy Cole, your 4-H Extension Educator. I want to take just a few minutes to share with you some brief details that you may want to be aware of as we move towards our showcase opportunities for 4-H project work for 2020. Hopefully you are aware for static judging we are going virtual. You should know that from when you registered for showcases as well as from just communications you've been receiving. But I want to take a few minutes just to explain to you a little more about what that will look like. So there are two options that you were able to choose from when you registered for your projects through Fair Entry. One of those is using Zoom. And with that, 4-Hers were able to choose two projects that they would like to judge through Zoom. That is something that is totally optional. It's not a requirement by any means. But with that, 4-Hers who selected that as an option, they received a follow-up email from Elizabeth Schmidt, our 4-H support staff, that allowed them to click on a link to go ahead and sign up for specific judging times for their projects. We will have about 6 judges who will be judging all of our projects this year through Zoom, and they have been divided by project area that they have expertise in. So please, if you have not yet, go and select your judging times as soon as you can. They are being assigned on a first come, first served basis, so it is to your benefit to go in and register sooner rather than later. So other than that, kind of how that process will look, when you get into your judging, as we get closer, you'll get a link that you will go to the evening of your judging. We ask that you arrive probably 5 or 10 minutes at least before your judging time, just in case we are ahead of schedule or something unexpected is happening that evening. We can give you more details at that point. When you go, you'll log into Zoom and you will come to a waiting room where we will have all of our 4-Hers who have a similar judging time that are waiting to judge just kind of be hanging out with staff and volunteers at that point. When it is your assigned judging time, we will move you from that waiting room into a breakout room where it will be you, your judge, and one 4-H staff member. And the reason for having that extra person is that because it is a 4-H event, we do need to have 2 screen volunteers and or staff judges, that type of thing, in the room with each youth. During your time, you will have approximately 5 to 7 minutes where you'll be able to have a one-on-one discussion with your judge. They will ask you additional questions about your project, but please know that that time is not being designed as a time for you to just walk through step by step how you made your project. That is part of the reason that we collected from you through Fair Entry pictures of your project, as well as having you answer a series of questions about your project. So your judge will have access to and be able to look at what you submitted through Fair Entry prior to your judging. So that means that your time hopefully will be more meaningful and you will be able to have more specific conversation with your judge and also be able to ask questions back and forth. When your time is done, we'll give you kind of a 1 minute or so warning so that you and your judge know that your time is getting short, and then you will be able to leave your judging time, and then you'll just come back for any other subsequent judging that you might have. What you will receive for feedback from your judges is they will be entering into Fair Entry comments about your project judging and your project work that you did. So you'll want to go in there and check that following your judging time. We also then will be publishing our results because there is not a way for you to be able to see under your entry what color ribbon placing you did receive on your project. So you will get a link from 4-H staff that will let you go to and find your placing. Placings for this year will be very similar to what they have been in the past. Each of our 4-Hers that are 3rd grade and older will be awarded either a blue, red, or a white ribbon. Anyone who is 6th grade and older, and when I say 6th grade, that means completed 6th grade, they will be eligible for state showcase events if they receive a blue ribbon on their project. So that is a change from previous years. There is not a state fair lineup for those of you who are used to that process. Again, if you get a blue ribbon, you automatically can compete in the state competition. That will also be virtual and will be handled through Zoom or Flipgrid, depending on the project area. And when you're signing up for your state showcase event, you will be able to see what that judging platform will be. Within those blue ribbon placings through Zoom or through our projects that are not going to be one-on-one conference judged, you will receive a grand or reserve champion for our overalls in each project area. And this year, because there are 2 options for judging, both Zoom one-on-one conference judging and projects that are being solely judged based on the questions you answered and the pictures you submitted, we will be giving more than one champion and reserve champion in project areas. So, for example, in the project clothing and textiles non-wearable garment, we have projects that are being judged through Zoom and projects that are being judged solely on their pictures and their answered questions. So there will be a champion through the Zoom judging, and there will be a champion through the projects that were judged just from their pictures and questions. So no, that will be a little bit different than in previous years. So that's kind of a rundown of the Zoom option. For those of you who are not choosing to do Zoom and who are just having your projects judged based on the pictures and the questions that you answered, we will have a judge that will go into Fair Entry. They will view all of those things you submitted, and then they will make comments back to you in Fair Entry, just like they're doing for Zoom, and you will be able to see feedback from your judges on how you answered your questions and how your project looks. For both Zoom conference judged and projects that are judged solely on pictures and your questions, both of them will be judged 50% based on your project and 50% based on how you answer your questions, whether that is through writing or whether that's through an interview process. So that will look the same as it has in past. So that's kind of a rundown of static. Livestock this year will be in person. Please know that that will look a little bit different than it has in the past when it's part of county fair. This year's livestock shows are not open to the public, which means that 4-H families can be there to show and do all of their things that they typically would do during their livestock exhibition, but it is not for extended family, family friends, all of those people. We will be sharing with you more details related to that as we get a little bit closer, but just know that there will be health and safety protocol in place for you to keep everyone safe and healthy while they are participating in our shows. We hope that you choose to participate in person, but also know that there is an option to participate virtually if you are not comfortable coming in person or if you can't come because of some health concerns for you or a loved one. So no, that is an option. And if you do need information on that alternative virtual livestock showcase opportunity, please reach out to me and I will be sure to get you that. And that will be judged through recorded video. So just know that that will look a little different, and our judges will try to mesh the best that they can the recorded videos with the animals that they are seeing in person in the show ring during showtime. But like I said, watch for more protocol. I'm not going to give you a ton of that right now because there's a lot of things for you to just be aware of and be prepared for, but know that at this point we will be doing everything that we can to keep you healthy and safe, but there are things that Minnesota 4-H has in place, and rightfully so, as expectations when we are holding in-person animal science activities right now. So watch for that. Anyone who has signed up to participate in our 4-H animal science projects through Fair Entry will receive an email probably about a week or so beforehand, just giving them those final details. Again, if you have questions or concerns on that, please reach out to me and I would be happy to have those conversations with you. And then final kind of update on this year's showcase opportunities is, as you hopefully know, if you are someone who is interested in our livestock auction, we will be holding that this year again. Your potential bidder education forms were due July 15th, and that was in all of the communications that you have been receiving. We will then have our sign-up forms, and they will be due August 14th at 12 p.m. The only exception to that is our swine project members who may or may not be done with their judging at that point. If you want to show swine or you're unsure of your species because one of your potential options is swine, we just ask that you get that form into us as soon as possible following your show. This year's form will look similar, but we are going to be doing it online, but we will have a paper form if you need that. One of the differences for this year is that each of our 4-Hers is asked to create a short 30 to 60-second video that will introduce themselves. So it will tell us your name, first and last name, your parents' name. You can share with us your club that you're a part of, and then they want you to show us your animal. And that can either be if you can bring them on the video and you can show them, or you can flash us a picture of your animal. That is totally okay too. And we also just ask that you share a little bit about yourself so that our potential bidders can feel a personal connection with you. So you could tell us about your animal's name, activities you're involved with, 4-H project work you've been doing, or just anything fun or unique or exciting about you or your animal. Just be creative in that. So just know that that will be something that will be part of the auction. And bidding will begin during the week that our fair typically is, and our bidding will go until Monday, August 24th. And at 2 p.m. we will have our virtual live auction, and that will look as close to possible as our in-person auction would. So we will have Fahey Sales, who has been very gracious and generous in donating most of their services to us. They will do our auction in a very similar format. So rather than me reading information about each of our 4-Hers as they come into the ring, it'll be your video showing, and then the auctioneers will take bids. People can go in and pre-bid ahead of time, but they also can actually go in and bid during that auction. And at that point, you'll hear the auctioneers chant just like you typically would, and they will continue to take bids until bidding stops on your animal's premium, and then that will be your sale price. As in the past, 80% of that will go back to you as a 4-Her, and 20% will come back to the 4-H program, and those dollars will be used to cover any expenses that are associated with the platform, as well as credit card expenses, those type of things. And then we use those funds just in general to pay for 4-H and animal science project supplies. So this year will help support some of the COVID supplies. It'll support judges, all of those things. And we also use it to purchase things like fans or hog sorting panels, just those things that we need within our projects. So just a little heads up for you of where those dollars go. I think that is pretty much everything I want to share with you at this point. If you do have questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out. Staff are available Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, just like they always have been. Our office is also open, just like it always normally is. You can also reach out to me. Feel free to give me a call at 320-484-4305 or shoot me an email, and I would be happy to answer questions or help you out however I can. With that, I look forward to seeing all of you very soon that are participating in-person animal science showcases. Otherwise, good luck, and hopefully we'll be able to be back in person like we normally are very, very quickly.